Hello again, everyone. Hope you are well on a Saturday morning. I know there's a lot of winter weather going on out there. Hope you are safe, staying warm. I know here in North Georgia, in my neck of the woods, we are at about 27 degrees right now. Wind chill in effect makes that feel like about 15, according to my app on my phone. But it's sunny. It looks nice out there. So that's cold for here. So hope you're safe. Oh, there were a lot of developments going on overnight, last night, overseas. But first, real quick, want to keep an eye today on this Canadian trucker convoy. Looks like it has arrived in Ottawa, capital city of Canada. I was watching some live streams last night. Looks like a sizable force, a sizable convoy that has rolled in there, and they were making a lot of noise, honking the horns, a lot of live streams going on. So we'll see how that plays out today. Should be interesting. I'm going to try to keep an eye on that, among other things. And I did see a lot of flags were being flown out, those trucks on the back of them, Canadian mostly. I did see some United States flags. I did see a report where some truckers from the United States are showing support by traveling up to the border, and staying on the United States side up in that area. So that is good to see as well. So we will see what happens. A lot of developments were happening overnight. Last night, the President of the United States said that he is planning to send those extra 8,500 American troops to Europe soon, especially if Russia decides to go ahead and invade Ukraine. Now, we already have tens of thousands of troops from the United States in Western Europe. And he said he plans to send these extra 8,500 soon, and that would help reinforce the western flank of the NATO allies, Romania, Poland, especially. Looking at a map of the Russian forces are massed on the border of Ukraine, all to the north border of Ukraine in Belarus. They're right on the doorstep of Poland right there too. So be a little nervous if I were them, but Russia has enough forces. They have about 130,000 troops with armor, air power, supplies, artillery, ballistic missiles. So they have everything set. They could go in at any time. And so that's the situation right now. This report, reading through a couple of reports last night, it says top U.S. defense officials warn against quote unquote horrific Russian invasion of Ukraine. United States top military and defense commanders late Friday added their voices to stark warnings that Russia may be about to invade Ukraine. The invasion, if they go in, this invasion would result in quote unquote significant amount of casualties. So they're pretty descriptive language here. Significant amount of casualties and horrific. Such a military operation would be just devastating, rolling through dense urban areas in the dead of winter. And this is what top officials are saying. This was the Joint Chiefs Milley and the Secretary of Defense. And so they had a little presser last night, but they said that Putin is amassing of more than 100,000 already, so he has a range of options to pursue there. So does not sound really good. Also saw this too. This is a little troubling. Said that Russia has moved blood supplies near the Ukraine border. So the military buildup near Ukraine has expanded to include supplies of blood, along with other medical materials that would allow them to treat casualties. That's very telling. Yet another key indicator of Moscow's military readiness. So they're ready to treat casualties of their guys. So, current and former U.S. officials say concrete indicators like blood supplies are critical in determining whether Moscow would be prepared to carry out an invasion. Well, yeah, I would think so. I would say they're pretty ready. So this is disclosure of the blood supplies by U.S. officials are speaking on condition of anonymity. So they're not naming them, the people who are talking about that aren't naming themselves. So understandable, I guess. So another quote by one of the officials said that these warnings included by the president and top officials. Secretary of State as well remarks that Russia could launch an attack with very short notice. Doesn't guarantee there's going to be an attack, but you would not execute another attack unless you have all of these on hand and ready. So some developments that are going on overnight there. Now, if they go in, a lot of people say, well, what does it mean for us? Cover that briefly, but an invasion of Ukraine would drive up global food prices and spark unrest far from the front lines, for sure. And who's been stacking a lot of grain right now? It's been in the news. Certain country in Asia has been stacking a lot of grain, a lot of corn. So, and that's been happening though for a while. So makes you wonder, what do they know? But Ukraine is, they've had record harvests of grain, corn lately. They're one of the breadbaskets of Europe. So fertile land there, and so it's no secret they're right in the bullseye there. So natural resources, oil and gas. So a very tenuous situation there. I believe if it were to go forward, we would see food hyperinflation of just about anything almost right away. Shortages, you could see rationing. You could see that. Now, they would probably call it something else. They would probably call it limits or some other fancy, non-threatening word, but it would be rationing, okay? Definitely. And but prices would just go crazy unless they put in something, if it really got out of hand over there, freeze prices or something like that. Who knows? I mean, in uncharted waters here. We haven't had a build-up and a threat like this going head-to-head since World War II, is the way it looks. With all the countries involved, there's a lot of players, a lot of assets on both sides right there in that region. So a dangerous, dangerous situation right now. Share your thoughts. I'm gonna keep an eye on this for sure. I just wanted to give an update like that right now. Now, try not to feel anxious about this. Go on with your lives. If you're feeling anxious, if you're having negative thoughts, I've got a verse for you. This comes out of 2 Corinthians chapter 5. It's one of my favorites. 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 1 says, "For we know that if the earthly tent we live in is destroyed, we have a building from God, an eternal house in heaven, not built by human hands." Not built by human hands. We have a house there ready. We do. So remember that. Hold on to that. Hope that helps. That is comforting, though. Think about that. So let's keep praying. Keep stacking it, of course. And something else breaks, I will probably get back on today, sometime this weekend. But in the meantime, be safe, be aware out there, stay warm and safe, and God bless you. See you soon.